Welcome back to another episode of Paddle Talk. Just a reminder, episodes are dropped weekly on YouTube and once a month on Facebook. We have a full loaded episode for you guys today. We got recaps from Silverback Offroad Speedway's Weekend of Thunder. We have recap from Franklin County's big money race that they had. And then we got some news. I go off about some Albany, Oregon stuff. Uh, Thunder Valley's getting some quotes done. And we have new world record holder as well. Then we have previews for Atoka Motorsports Park double points race, Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series at Silverback Offroad Speedway, Tri-County's fair race coming up in a few weeks. The MRA is racing at Wagler Motorsports Park. First time they'll be there. Isaac's going to the KOI race. Franklin County races again, and Thunder Valley does as well. So we got a full loaded episode for you guys. Plenty to talk about. John loses to K-Dub, which is really funny. We bring that up again. And yeah, just one more time. These episodes are brought to you by Silverback Offroad Rentals, Silverback Offroad Speedway, and RacingInTheDirt.com. All right, let's get into the episode. All right, as we wait for Isaac to get here, we're going to go ahead and kick off the show with some race recaps that happened over the weekend. And this whole episode is brought to you by our sponsors, Silverback Offroad Speedway, Silverback Offroad Rentals, and RacingInTheDirt.com. And we're going to go ahead and get started with Franklin County's big money race that our boy Damien was present for. He was on scene bringing us some action-packed footage that he posted yesterday. And Damien, tell us what the vibe was like, the weather was like, and start from start to finish. Tell us how the race was.
All right, we ended up with a total of just to start, we ended up with 60 cars running in, or 60 racers. You know how Franklin County is double entries. Even me and my dad were double entered in the Jeep.
Nice.
It was a hot, muggy, miserable, normal July weekend in Franklin County, but the racing was good. They did their best to keep water on the track. It stayed consistent up until dark, and then you know how that goes. Dirt, moisture, everyone picks up. But it ended up being, like I said, 60 cars. They had 20 or so cars in the second chance race. So to win was 47.50, if I remember correctly. Second was 1,000, and I can't remember what third and fourth ended up being. But ended up coming down final 8, normal suspect of the area. The final 4, though, Chris Ferry, Blake Cole, Daryl Clem, and Wade Pruitt. They ended up all splitting it. Chris Ferry, this is only his second race out this year. Continuing on a streak that really started again after the big money race last year at Brookville of being in the finals every weekend last year except the big money race as well. So,
Chris Ferry goes on a tear when he goes out, it sounds like.
oh yeah, he's got that car dialed in.
Yeah,
Well,
so Chris,
he just had back surgery, so I think he's got a lot of pent up energy waiting to get out.
well, it sounds like it. So the results as the big money race, as Damien said, first place was Chris Ferry. Blake Cole taking second place, Daryl Clem taking third place, and Wade Pruitt taking fourth place as well, honorary fourth place as they posted. Yep. And then you guys had a second chance race. It looks like. Tell us about that?
Second chance race. Anyone that lost in the first round was eligible to enter. Austin Bullock, who had switched vehicles for the first round of eliminations when an injector hung up on their replacement motor. They just put motor from Ronnie's Nova into the Jeep. Thankfully, they caught it, hopefully, before it burnt anything up. So he ended up running Pat Uriga's dragster. The dragster Ricky Thorpe had there for a hot minute.
Mm-hmm. Those are Kenny Capple's front wheels. Just wanted to plug that. Has no significance, but it's funny.
Right. But he ended up getting down to the finals in the second chance race compared to the first round loss in the bracket. Now, there was a bit of carnage in parts for the weekend. Daryl Clem, who got third place, had a terrifying ride to start time trials on Saturday.
Oh, what happened?
He went through the end of the traps. His throttle hung wide open. He clicks it into neutral. The car starts hopping, gets into the grass, and does a 180 right next to the telephone pole in the shutdown.
That's
And
wild.
doesn't roll. They go weld a toe loop on the throttle pedal, make sure there's nothing sticking, and he ends up getting down to the final four.
Oh
Nice.
god, that's crazy.
That's a scary day to
What's
start.
What's he drive? What was he driving?
He is the one who has
Dragster.
that brown 6.0 or 6.2, I can't remember which, LS powered dragster. He's friends with trainers. This used to be Jim Brumbaugh's finally blown dragster that Kellen trainer wadded up on the hill tracks at Gravelrama a few years ago.
Whoa. Okay, did not know that. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, glad he didn't roll it. To be honest.
Oh yeah,
It's
he
just
got
scary.
very lucky there. We had a hood pin that we forgot to put in, and it pulled the latches that we do put on, including the hood pin on the Jeep, and it still came up, flipped up, and the grill came out of our hood. So right now, the hood on the Jeep's off. Like I said, Austin and Ronnie, they had their injector hang up on their motor. There's so many different little things that happened this weekend. It was a fun one though. We had Leighton Mallow, Jeff Waters with his wild little twin turbo 5.3 Willys getting down into the 380s. That thing tripoding the whole way down the track.
You can see Isaac just now joining us, and
Yep.
he's getting set up. We'll let him get finished up here, and Damien is just talking about the big money race so far. And go ahead, go on, Damien.
As many people have seen, Tucker and Taylor Berg made the trip up, getting some test and tune time, trying to figure out this new track to them before the Outlaw Series race in September. And Taylor went on a wild ride, got through the end of the traps, car got to bounce, and he missed the parachute lever and went a little bit through the fence. We were able to get it all patched up and ready for the next day.
So Taylor drives the orange,
Correct.
orange Fiat body Alder, and Tucker drives the
Black car.
the black.
I believe it's a Bantam body, ain't it, John?
I don't know.
I think so.
You're right. The other body is black and gray.
The
one.
other
Okay.
body, yeah, the other one.
Okay.
But
Boy, Taylor went on a ride.
He posted
He posted that video from the, basically almost roll cage perspective, and he crossed finish line. It was crazy.
normal push pull steering from that's on them Alders. John knows how that goes. Push pull steering can
Right.
get a little wobbly.
Yeah, they will.
The
And
track had nothing to do with that.
That too.
It was a Franklin County track. It tracks like it was any other weekend. Yeah, sometimes it gets hard. That's the surface for you. But almost no other time. Yeah, the 295 cars, we'll see them stop up against the fence. Very rarely do we ever see them go.
So they prepped the track that at the big money race the same they did at the outlaw race, like when I was there.
Very, very similar. It was disked for the racing surface, it was disked from end to end, and they were trying to keep the shutdown disked up for the shutdown. So they were doing their best to keep it as safe as possible for any car that was there.
Okay. All right. There you go. Closest to dial in was Jeff Waters, and best reaction time was Wade Pruitt. Do we have numbers on those?
I do not right offhand. I would have to get a hold of Anthony or Marta on that one.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Just going off by what they posted. So Isaac, Chris Ferry won this thing. What do you think about that?
Is he the white center seater Jeep?
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's a car with a lot of history between here and Lisbon. As that is actually Kathy Ellington's first race car.
Really? Whoa.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yep, it was built with a small block Dodge motor back in the day.
Ooh.
Back before
The
her
one that
and
Chris
Mike got
Ferry
together.
drives? The car that Chris Ferry drives was Kathy Ellington's first car?
Yeah.
She must have looked tiny driving that thing, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
That
That's
thing
exactly
looks
what I was
huge. That thing looks like
It's got a love seat in it right now.
Yeah, it looks like it's just so wide, so big.
Oh yeah, and for someone of Kathy's size.
Sure. Yeah. My size even. Shit. It looks so big. It'd be cool though. I bet it's comfortable. I bet it's comfortable.
Oh, I
bet
guarantee it.
Chris Ferry, I bet you are driving the most comfortable car in the sport, sir. That thing looks very relaxing.
And he has it very well sorted.
Damien would have no problem falling asleep in that roll cage, in that seat at all.
Hell, I've fallen asleep in them old plastic buckets before, so that's nothing.
I seen you fall asleep on a 4-wheeler, dude.
Now that's true.
How do you fall asleep on a 4-wheeler?
He was leaned back. The handlebars are right here, and he leaned back this way.
Oh my lord!
Dude fell
And then
asleep.
and the moment the cars would fire up, I would just lean forward with the camera and take pictures.
Yes. Yeah, that shit was so funny.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Well, Franklin County
Gravel
sounded like
50
it
was
was.
miserable.
It was. It very much was. We all. You mean Caleb? All. It was rough. That's a whole different day. But yeah, sounds like Franklin County Foilers was a great time, and
Let's see, 5th year, 5th different winner.
oh,
You know,
there you
That's
go.
cool.
that's important. I feel like that's probably a better
That-
thing than anything else.
No repeat.
That
That's
tells
huge.
you the parity. We've got 2 out of towners that have won this. You got Jason Job, Leighton Mallow, Cameron Krug, Timmy Estridge last year, and now Chris Ferry have all won.
Yeah.
Well, that's insane. That is insane. So maybe there'll be a 6 different winner next year when they run this race again. And their next race is July 18th and 19th. A week,
Franklin County Fair.
basically a week from when this comes out, almost. So
Yep.
Yes.
yeah, and that'll also be Thunder Valley's next race as well. Cool. So let's transition over
And Southern Power
to
Sports.
Isaac and no. What'd you say?
Isn't that the same weekend as Southern Power Sports?
It is,
Yes.
unfortunately.
Oh, it is. Yeah,
Silverback?
yeah, it is the same weekend. I didn't know that,
Yeah.
but yeah,
We'll get to that later, but
there's probably more
Yeah.
money. There's probably more money at Southern Power Sports race at Silverback. We'll get to that.
That's 100% true as well. Johnny, do you have a link to the Weekend of Thunder results?
give me a minute and I will see what I
I
can
was
do.
gonna say, I for the life of me cannot find them all of a sudden.
All right, so
I
we're gonna
apologize.
gather those results real quick, and as we do that, we're going to plug our sponsors at racinginthedirt.com. Those guys are always on hand, giving you the best stuff for your racing operations. Racing in the Dirt has just one mission, is to help their customers compete at their very best. With over 40 years of motorsports competition experience, they know what it takes to maintain that competitive edge, and they equip to keep you there. On-site welding and fabrication, incredible selection of parts, experience, and helpful staff as well. They got tires and wheels. They cut the tires in-house, and then they also make full chassis builds, whether it's just the chassis, rolling chassis, you want a turnkey build, they do all that. You can check out their products online as well. Anything from wheel adapters, hub kits, brake hat kits, brake and hub components, suspension parts, air filters, knuckles, axles and parts, chain drives and driveline, limiter straps, parachutes and setups, side-by-side and UTV parts, and then Racing in the Dirt apparel on their website as well. That is racinginthedirt.com. You could call them at 920-693-2000. That is 920-693-2000. And you can also email them at Shane, S-H-A-N-E, Shane at racinginthedirt.com. Or you can also try Scott, S-C-O-T-T, Scott at racinginthedirt.com. Racinginthedirt.com, they're badass. All right.
Yeah.
We got results. Do we have results?
We do.
All right, let's do it.
All right. You want to do it, Isaac, or you want me to do it?
Send them to me a second. I would be more than happy to do it.
We still
I thought I did. Look at your phone. It's on your phone.
Here they are. All right.
This is the top-notch crew here that we have.
Dude, we
at
are
Los
top
Angeles.
notch. We are 100% on the spot. We just are not always 100% on time.
Hey, we were rolling pretty good this weekend, keeping everything afloat. So
Absolutely.
Hey, I give you credit. I like what I watched. It was great.
better be. So classes with added money.
That's right.
Yeah, well, hopefully the racing was good too. Isaac, tell us about it. The Weekend of Thunder at Silverback Offroad Speedway. What'd you see from start to finish? Let's start with Friday.
Friday. Not gonna lie, Friday weird start. We were standing in the lanes, getting ready to make another pass ourselves, and our friend of the show, Eric Byers Eschbaugh, had a big wreck. Plainly put,
Very big wreck.
Yeah, I would be honest, especially ATV wise, probably the worst one I've seen.
That was pretty bad.
So, yeah.
Well, from what people don't know, and if you haven't seen it yet, because we did make a post about it, Eric Eschbaugh suffered a, I'll call it an accident. He suffered an accident at Silverback this weekend. The bike started on the right of the lane and went all the way to the left. It hit a
tire.
It was a tractor tire. I was going to call it an obstruction, but it was a tractor tire that was blocking off the hill climb or the jump.
Well, it was also protecting a sprinkler head down there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
And he hit that basically after making a full run. He ran a 3:28 at, what'd you guys say, 100?
Yeah, just over 100 mile an hour.
100.4 mile an hour. Oh my God. 3.28 seconds, 100.4 mile an hour and 300 feet. And I imagine maybe he had time to hit the brakes or something. I don't know. I mean, he's still going at least 90. And but yeah, our thoughts and prayers are definitely with Eric as he goes through the recovery process. His wife actually made that post saying that, I think it was basically just like he messed up his knees, he broke his ankle and broke his collarbone, and it's going to be a long recovery process. And that they're thankful for all the people reaching out and the prayers and the thoughts and everything like that. And yeah, it was crazy. It was when Isaac called me and told me that, I was like, what? I literally sat here and like dropped everything I was doing. It was insane.
He was hurting.
Yeah, but
yeah, it was scary seeing him just laying there. I mean, I would say there was good. What do you think, Johnny? 35 foot from where he impacted the tire to where he actually landed.
I'd say an easy 60 to 80.
I mean,
how many times from the first landing or the second skip or like the third skip or like where he landed,
Yeah.
It was pretty brutal. And that tire, I can't believe how far the tire went.
Yeah. It's yeah.
So,
I don't know what else to say other than God obviously was not done with Eric yet, because
no.
Well, Eric's also, like, if you guys don't know Eric, he's freaking huge. Like, he's swole,
yes,
right? So like not only, and Eric's also a safety guy. So like he had like the full leathers, chest pad, all that shit. So
he had everything.
And then he had like his huge muscles also. So like I'm sure, like if he was John's size, it would just been devastation.
I'd have been like a Superman cape. I'd have been flying.
You've been a pancake is what you are. But no, we are thinking about Eric, and if we get updates on his progress with recovery, we'll update you on that as well. So,
he gets well and gets back to it again.
You said, Isaac, let's turn to the positive sides of this. Eric, we are thinking about you. Rest up, bub. You said you were waiting in staging lanes. Why were you waiting in staging lanes?
So I may have brought out my new bike this past weekend.
New bike?
You did what?
You have a bike?
Brought out the battle sport.
Yes, as Damian Bowers has so lovingly christened it, the spork. We made some hits on Friday, and very happy. We made good progress, and I feel we're really close to being where I want to be with it. And we're actually going racing Wednesday night again. So if you are at the LaGrange County Fair in Indiana and you want to get a piece of some 3-cylinder action, let's get it.
Isaac, are you going? Is that a KOI race you're going to?
It is.
Please don't die. Please don't
die.
Hey, if this gives you any idea, we're bringing both the bikes. We have nobody to run the tow bike. So,
so what you do? Well, I don't know what you do. So I'm interested what you do. So let me know.
yeah, we'll see. But yes,
It's
very,
like a
very
cart.
happy with it. It's, I will tell you this. It pulls out the big end way more than anything I've ever been in.
Bruh. Snowmobiles are awesome.
Yeah.
They just keep pulling, bro.
The top end roll is something else. So, playback tax at about 9,400 RPM. So yeah,
Ooh.
super happy with it. So
what was the ET?
Best ET was 385.
Woo!
Nice.
Moving.
Hell yeah. With you on it?
Not with me on it. No.
Not
No,
with you on. Oh,
not with me on it. So
What are you saying, Billy?
Did you make any runs on it?
I did. I made 4 hits on it. So
Okay, so what did you run? I want to know what you ran.
I ran 423 with it. So
Okay, hey,
Nice.
that's fucking
Yeah.
awesome. So who ran the 385? Your boy?
we put Dylan on it, made a big swing and tire pressure change, and it responded quite well. So I think, honestly, with me on it right now, I think it will go sub 4.0, maybe
Yeah.
like a high 390, you know.
Dude, that's freaking awesome.
So, but the track, I will say, Friday especially, and John can speak to this, the track was very dry. It did not have much water in it. And she was a little loose. We could not, 60 foot was our problem. If we could have gotten a better 60 foot, we definitely would have run quicker. I would say we're solidly 0.2 slow in the 60 compared to what we think we should be. So, yep.
Good to get information. Any data is good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well,
I know the density altitude sucked too.
yes, it was horrible.
It was friggin' horrible.
Well, whatever you learn through your snowmobile journey, just don't be afraid to pass that information on to your boy because I'm going through the same shit with worse weather. So just let me know what you can help me out with.
I can tell you this much: I learned what is the right way and the wrong way to put the belt on, and I made 2 hits with it on not the correct way.
Oh,
maybe that's where
that cost me 0.2. So
smooth side up, flat side up against flat side. Ain't that what they say?
it's actually the writing on it.
Oh,
you can't physically see or visually see the difference. It's weird.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, I couldn't either, but yeah. I mean, literally, that was the only change we made. We didn't make an air pressure change or anything else. Put the belt back on and went from a 43 to a 28.
ooh,
Yeah.
And that was it. So
nice. Hell yeah, dude.
Yep.
Like I said, just whatever information you get. Oh, did you do any burnouts? Or did you just line up and run it?
I did not. I thought about it. I actually was thinking about it. So I'll have to go back and review some old shocker footage to get, kind of figure out what exactly he was doing. But
I picked up at least 3/10 when I did the burnout.
See, that's crazy.
Just to let you know. I don't know if that's going to help you, but
probably
did you leave off of idle
or something?
Did you leave off of idle?
No, I got 2-step.
Oh yeah,
you lucky bastard! That's the greatest sounding thing on the planet. Oh my god, that's my next step. That's my next step. I gotta play with my clutching. Oh yeah.
The next step is a 2-step.
Okay, we're gonna get into our snowmobile talk later on.
Stay focused.
So after you ran your bike,
yes.
What happened after that? How was the pro truck stuff?
So, they ended up having 3 classes of actually 4 heads-up truck classes. Pro Truck Elite, which is the class we are most involved with. Pro Mod Truck Elite, Super Truck Elite, Street Truck Elite. Those are the 4. I talked to Brett afterwards. He said he thinks maybe next year one of the kind of middle of the road truck elite classes will go away and they might have like an open diesel heads up or something like that. So
yes, open diesel. Let's go. Corey
could
Lyon,
be good.
Get out there.
And then there was we had open bracket, we had 350. So I mean, we had 6 classes of eliminations Friday night already. There was a lot of really good racing. In our 350 class, came down to Mr. 350, Terry Wise, as always, right? And Dean Dangermon, who is the apparent new Mr. 350 because he beat Terry again. So I don't know. I told Donovan Lattimore Saturday night, I'm like, dude, I said, you may have to build a car of your own because ever since you started driving Terry's car on Saturday, he's been a little vulnerable on Friday night.
I'm pretty sure he has something in the works. We'll leave it at that.
So, and in the open bracket, our own other contributor, K-Dub himself, on camera, decided to put it to John Sword. Johnny, what happened?
Well, that was just painful. And to pedal it and go by him and just see the fact that I overdid it was just pathetic in my mind. It was hurtful.
Did you not have what was the numbers on that? Did you have starting line advantage on him or not? I don't remember. Sorry.
Yeah, I had a little starting line advantage on it, or barely. We were within like 4 or 5 thousandths on the tree, and then we went down, and it's hard to judge him when he's running a 5.5 and I'm running a 3.7, and you're coming up on him, and you got to judge that speed or just trust the car. Well, I made the mistake of letting off, and I should have trusted the car.
Fair enough. It happens. So, Street Truck Elite, which was plated street trucks, basically, which had a really wide, I mean, they had everything from like rock crawler Grand Cherokees to, what a pretty decent street truck in CJ Bauman, extended cab F-150. And it ended up CJ Bauman out of Holland took the win. And Jeff DeRue, also out of Holland or the Zeeland area, was second place there.
Now, what
and
was
then
the
Super Truck
rules on
Elite?
that?
What's that,
sorry.
Damon?
I was going to say, what was the rules on the street truck class?
So the street truck class had to be plated, like you could have driven it into the, in there, that kind of thing. And then what they did, I believe, now I could have this incorrect, but I believe what they did was basically they made the breakout a tenth quicker than whatever the fastest truck in the class was. Okay. So they ran it kind of heads up on an index, but with enough buffer that you couldn't sandbag to get into the class, type of thing. So, Super Truck Elite ended up being the blue CJ7 at John DeBoer, the wheelie machine, took second there, and took second place to Tanner Newburn driving the Great White Buffalo out of the Boosted Adrenaline camp. The white Blazer that has been all over the West Coast, came back here to the Midwest, and Michael McCord and his guys have been, kind of messing around with it when the square body, isn't ready or something like that. And they won Super Truck Elite Friday night, and they were in the dunes tearing it up Saturday and Sunday. So, I mean, that thing really got a workout this weekend. So, Pro Mod Truck Elite, which I believe the index there was like a 380 index, if I'm not mistaken. Brett Penoyer and his Bronco made a showing there and took a second place. And Mike Page with the blue Blazer with the old front clip on it and everything, all battle worn and beat up and everything, takes first place there. So that was good to see. And then Pro Truck Elite, which is the fastest of the fast, no index, no breakout, just line them up and let her eat. Jason Vanderwall goes to the final. And I'll be honest, and I don't think anybody will disagree with me here. Jason just needed to leave on time there. He had about a tenth of a second from the semifinals on Earl. Earl had been running low 320s all day. And Jason really just needed to make an identical pass to what he made in the semifinals. And he did. Problem being, he left before the green light came on and went red and handed the win to Earl right on the starting line. So Earl went through, I think, another through like 323 or something. Jason ran a 315. I mean, that truck was flying this weekend, really running good.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, with the red light, ends up giving the win to Earl, and nobody collected the $250 bounty on the first 290-something pass in Pro Truck Elite. So we still have to see what that happens. Tell you what, unfortunately, kind of a heartbreaker, I would say, for Todd Bilesma. They just did not have a good Friday. That's really what it boils down to. They got to the track, were missing some stuff. They had problems with the trailer door. I mean, you name it.
What happened with the trailer door?
Yeah.
I think something in the mechanism that assists raising the trailer door went south, and all I know is the back corner of the trailer was missing one of the trim pieces where you could, I mean, Saturday you could look directly straight into the trailer. There was like a 3-inch gap to where it was wide open.
I don't mean to laugh, but
yeah.
But that's
and they made a John. I don't know if you saw that. They made a pass at one point in time, and I thought they ran maybe like a 311 or something like that. I mean, the Jeep looked just like it did
good
when at Texas Mud Drags, and unfortunately, when he shut it off at the end of that pass, it never ran again the entire Friday night.
Nope.
And there was some. We happened to be pitted right next to him, and I can honestly say you could feel the tension and disappointment over in that camp. I mean, that was, you know,
Isaac, we have a special guest with us.
Oh my Lord, who is that?
It's
I don't know who that is.
Kyle Weedmeyer.
K-Dub, you beat John in the open bracket class on Friday night. How did that feel?
Oh, good. He got me like 3 to 4 times this year. I finally got him back.
That's why he shaved. He felt
like,
good about it. He shaved everything.
All I know is it felt good because I finally got him.
And you got it on camera. That makes it even worse.
Hey, that was an awesome video. That was an awesome video. If you guys didn't see it, we posted K-Dub Vision, his point of view of beating John. I didn't know that was the final until I seen the results. I was like, oh shit. Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
That was
second,
cool
second,
when I could see K-Dub turn on his glasses from the tower every time when he was going into stage. I'm like, that's awesome. I love it.
That's cool.
Second question, why did you shave?
Yes.
I got to go to a chemical plant this week, so I got to be clean shaven. That's why I'm shaved. I'm shaved.
A chemical plant?
Yeah.
Oh,
Got to go
like
to
nuclear?
Kentucky. Say it again?
Nuclear?
No, this is a chemical plant, so you got to be able to have a respirator on. So to go on site, I need to be clean shaven. So So this is why I shaved the beard off.
I think you should shave your head as well.
I don't think so. I don't agree with that.
You're like Billy and Isaac then.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Hey man, I'm sunburned. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I should have worn a hat way more than I did Friday because I was hurting Saturday morning.
Well, K-Dub, you also called it. Earl Lettner getting the win in Pro Truck Elite. I think you were helping him. You and your dad were helping him out, right?
No, my dad was helping him out. I was just kind of, hey, Earl, how's it going? And then walk on by.
We gotta get Tony on here sometimes.
Did they still have the fake nitrous bottle mounted up?
I can't confirm or deny. All I know is I riled my dad up because when we got done shooting the podcast that Monday, me and Sean went back to the pits and we immediately ratted on Todd. Like, yeah, we heard about his motors. I told him about that, and then I started exaggerating. I was like, yeah, we told Todd we were gonna destroy him, and then my dad got all worried. Like, no, you said what? I was like, yeah, we were really like laying in. Like, Earl's gonna get him, blah 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 blah. And he got all worried and started messaging. They're like, hey, can you disregard what Kyle said?
Did you see? You seen that screenshot I put in the group chat, didn't you? When he messaged me, he was like, "We don't want to start no drama."
I did.
Oh God.
I would say that was about as tough a weekend though for Bilesma as he's gonna have. So, and they ended up just not making the call for the first round of Pro Truck Elite. I mean, they loaded the truck up and wind time up, and that was done.
That's true.
Yeah, it's too bad.
I heard possibly CDI box went bad in it because it would crank, it just wouldn't fire.
Oh, that's no bueno.
That's what I think I heard my dad say too, but I wasn't quite sure. I kind of overheard him talking to somebody else, so I believe that's what happened. Well, I could be dead wrong.
K-Dub, give us, besides your win on Friday night, give us your perspective of how the Pro Truck Elite, Pro Mod Truck, Super Truck, and Street Truck stuff looked from your perspective.
Looked pretty cool. I like the Pro Truck Elite class a lot because I just like seeing those trucks how incredibly fast they are. I mean, they're running 3.3s, 3.2s, 3.1s. It's like Willie was running 3.3s and he was a little outgunned, which is kind of crazy how fast it is nowadays. I remember back in the day, my dad's funny car would run 3.3s, and it was like one of the fastest four-wheel drive cars in the country back then.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then I love watching the street class, just because seeing those guys rip like 6-second passes down racing each other was awesome.
Yeah, the street truck classes are always awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Isaac, we can move on to what Saturday brought us. What you got?
Yeah, so Saturday we had obviously the juniors. So the Pee Wee class, first place was Breton Penoyer, second place was Wesley Green, and in the juniors, first place, was Bria Van Veeling, and second place was Crew Herman. And then we had Pro Index, which is 325 Index. We have Pro ATV, Pro Truck, ATV, Pro Comp, and Open Mod. So we'll start with the sportsman classes. Open Mod, second place, John Sorg. Johnny, you were like one out of 4 on finals this weekend. What happened?
Well, you've seen what happened live. Well, not live, but you've seen it on KW Vision. What happened to me there? That was my own damn fault. That one right there. That was against Chad, wasn't it?
That was against Chad Coker. Was your Open Mod winner? Yes.
I don't know what happened there. I was surprised. I thought everything was good when I left, but I came back, looked at the slip, and it wasn't. So,
all right. Maybe you just need to race more Jeeps, because in the comp class, second place went to Larry Brocker, the other wheelie master up there with that green CJ7, who I believe maybe took out K-Dub in the semis.
was it? Who was it?
Coker got me in ATV. It's hard to tell because those three sportsman classes all run together.
Yeah.
I don't remember, honestly.
Okay. So comp, Larry Brocker was second. John Sorg on the podium, taking the big check home with him. And then in ATV, second place was Sean Stoner, and first place was Chad Coker. So Chad picked up 2 wins on Saturday night.
Yeah, Chad's back in style.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is he racing the mini buggy?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
And he's getting the blower car fixed.
Yeah. And speaking of being back in style, in Pro Comp, second place went to John Sorg. And first place, I'm going to say, is going to be the Kryptonite Kid, Keaton Hendricks.
Ooh.
That's a good name
like
for
that.
him. I like that.
Hey, and I tell you what, shout out to him,
No
because
kidding.
they lost a water pump, third round, I believe it was, Friday night. They drove all the way back to Zeeland, about an hour and a half one way, got a water pump, came back up, and they put that thing together Saturday morning and then came out and ran. So, yeah, good
Paid
job
off.
by those guys. That makes it worth
that's
it.
awesome. That's a great story.
I love that kind of stuff. So,
anytime John loses is great for us as well. So
no.
Thanks, guys.
Look at it this way, man. We were one round away from having Son Jorg back on here. So thank goodness he didn't. He managed to squeak one out.
Well,
I know, right?
that is true. That is true. But John losing in the final is always good for the podcast. Just remember that.
Yeah.
Especially when he loses in the final to another panel member who just
Speaking of
happened to
which,
show up late just to talk.
Johnny is the first person I know of to have a name on the outside of his car to where another competitor has put the alternate name on the outside of their car now.
That's true. You got
I like
unleashed and you
that.
got released.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I tell you what,
Release.
Travis Dangermon's car is very awesome. I love that alcohol injected LS. I was talking to his brother-in-law and I says, hey man, how's it going on tuning? He goes, yeah, that's the problem. no, when you say alcohol injected LS, he goes, and all you get is crickets because nobody has any clue. But everybody thinks it's cool, but nobody has any advice.
Right.
What
So
is
they're
that?
literally
no one
going,
else is
right.
doing it because no one else.
They're doing full on trial and error and see what works. So, but hey, they did really well this weekend. That car's showing a ton of potential, and it looks really good. Don't you think, Johnny? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Oh,
I think
he
it's
had a really good shot at coming after me in the finals because K-Dub took him out in the semis, but he had an 0-11 and fell off by 0.2 against you.
Yeah.
When he ran K-Dub, and because he's like, man, I don't know what happened.
What
Well,
did his
that's what-
car end up running?
411.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think it ran like an 09 or an 08, actually.
Did he get down there? Good.
I think it did, yeah. Yep.
Good.
Well,
Yep.
see, that's what happens when you can't be unleashed. You get released, and you can't run the number.
There you go.
I don't know.
So on to our pro classes. Pro comp, as we say, Keaton Hendricks the winner, John Sword runner up.
John
Pro
sucks.
truck, Jeff Miller, who another guy that is on a roll this summer with that endgame Jeep, finishes second. And Brian McQuethy for the second
Ooh.
4th of July in a row wins
Holy
pro
shit.
truck.
Yeah, he did win that. Yeah. Well, K-Dub,
Yeah.
you're that's your brother. So
Oh yeah, yep.
how was he feeling? How did he feel?
Oh,
after
he
that?
was so pumped. He was hooping and hollering all night, partying. I mean, he was so excited.
That's awesome.
KW should have been like, I was the crew chief. I made all the tuning calls. He just drove.
I did.
We all know
Yeah.
who's making the crew chief tuning calls there, and it ain't Brian or K-Dub. So
It's pretty much Brandy. She's running
yeah,
the show.
exactly.
Yeah.
I
Where-
was trying
was
to
the pickle
broker a
out
deal
there?
there, a
Did y'all
side
have-
bet on the final and pro truck. If Brian lost, we were going to let Jeff Miller and his wife pick the baby name. If not, then Miller and his wife were going to have to babysit for him at some point in time. So
That's a good bet.
Sounds like
I
a
thought it
good
was
deal.
pretty good.
So there's
All
no
right,
pickle. There was no pickle this weekend.
No, that thing's put away. Brandy's pregnant, so she's 6 months pregnant right
Oh.
now. They're expecting around November timeframe.
November's a good month.
I think I remember.
Yep.
Well, congratulations to Brandy and Brian. I think I remember you got. I remember them announcing that. So congratulations.
Yeah, they're excited.
Yeah.
Go on, Isaac.
All
Go.
right. So Pro ATV, first place was John Stoner, and second place was Matt Smith out of Muskegon, which that bike is running a lot better than it was earlier this year, too.
Yeah.
So congratulations to him. Matt Smith, funny enough, second generation racer. His dad, Matt Smith Sr., raced for a long time at Silverback Offroad Speedway, and now Matt has kind of taken up that mantle and gotten in, started racing himself. So great to see him out there. And then our last pro class was Pro Index. Only had 2 people, but John McCall making a appearance this weekend, which we haven't seen him in a while, and ends up taking the Pro Index win over Dan Bennett and the Bennett Racing 3-wheeler. So, all right, I could have swore that thing was a 4-cylinder. Apparently, it's not. Apparently, it's only 2 cylinders with a
Ooh.
monster turbo on it. That's why it sounds.
Oh yeah,
Glug-
that,
And that's their baby motor,
you know.
too.
that black and red laydown.
Yes.
Yeah, it's big turbo, little
Yep.
engine. Yeah.
Big HPT turbo.
Ooh, shout out HPT.
Mhm.
Shout out
Um,
HPT.
nice.
That's
So
right.
you
man.
said there's only 2 of them.
There's only 2 of them. Well, Eric was going to be the third, but then that kind of.
Okay, fair
went by
enough.
the wayside.
Question: did they
Yeah.
do best 2 out of 3, or did they just?
They
race
did.
once? Oh, okay, that's awesome. I love seeing shit like that.
They did, yes. And Bennett's actually had a hard time slowing that thing down. John McCall ran pretty much consistent 330s out of his buggy, which I tell you what, man, that thing's cool looking. It runs hard. I mean, it's really a nice rig. And yeah, Bennett's just had a hard time getting there slowed down to actually run 325s.
Now, did
And
John
Dan can't cut a
McCall?
light to save his life either.
Yeah.
Who? What'd you say?
Dan Bennett can't cut a light to save his life, too. Sorry, Dan.
Now, did John McCall
No,
roost? Did John McCall
no,
roost him?
he did not.
Okay,
He did not.
okay, he
That-
didn't
that-
roost him in this.
That
in the
may have
return
came up
on the way
during
back.
everything, and so anything. All right, so K-Dub was on the property, John Sword was on the property. I'll ask you 2 guys, and Johnny will let you go first. Besides Eric or any of the results we've talked about, what was one thing that stuck out to you this weekend? Good, bad, cool, whatever.
Oh, good, bad, cool, and whatever. Obviously, Earl Letner was really cool to see him take a win. The air was just ridiculously hot. That's something I won't forget.
That was bad.
But everybody was having a good time. So amongst all that, everybody was having fun, and I enjoyed it. Everybody seemed to have a good time.
I go with that. So,
Yeah.
K-Dub, what about you?
I thought the turnout was a little light, but then when we got to racing, it seemed like every class there was a lot of people there and a lot of new faces. There was some Banshees from Chicago
Yep.
who came outlaw races, checked the place out, they just noticed it, and they came back and they raced. Like I said, all the classes were big. It was just so hot. It was just a little grueling. But just to reiterate what Johnny said, Earl taking a win, that was cool. Brian won. I got Friday night, so Friday night champs back. But see, what else can I think of? I guess I'll just leave it right there. That's some takeaways from the 4th of July race.
Well, real quick, K-Dub, we talked about it as a group already with Eric Eschbaugh and his accident and whatnot. Just do you have any thoughts or anything you want to say about the Eric incident?
No, just I just hope he gets better. He loves racing. I mean, he dumps a lot of money in those bikes, and then he was in love with that
For
boost.
sure.
I mean, he was running some great numbers earlier. So hopefully he can get himself all healed up, and then back at it.
For
You,
sure.
you know,
I
a
hate
side
seeing that
note
stuff
to
happen.
that pass. On a side note to that pass with what it was Daniel and Eric, right?
Yep.
When the accident happened. Daniel apparently talked to Eric and went and seen him and made sure that he knew that he actually beat Eric on that pass for the first time. So I think Eric will want to come back and redeem himself. So if you're watching this, Eric, this will give you some something.
Well,
to come
hey
back.
Eric, I'll speak up for you. This is bullshit. So
You know what's funny about that? After I was over here and Dan talking to him on the phone, and then I could hear Eric asking about the data from the past, and then asking about how everything ran, and just
Oh,
trying
no
to get all the
kidding.
data from that pass. That's how into racing he is.
that's awesome.
Good.
Yeah, very much so. So, for me, I will say this: we saw some awesome new cars that have a ton of potential.
Oh yeah.
Mike Bulliard's new Digger Jeep, which
Sweet ride.
he shopped around forever trying to find one, and quite frankly, from when I talked to Mike Friday night, he just said, "You know what? I just found so much stuff I didn't like, or I didn't like the way something was about it." He goes, "I just came to the conclusion, you know what? I might as well just build my own," and he did, and the thing looks fantastic. Yeah, 4.0s, 390s on motor. I think his plan was to spray it last weekend, but something with the nitrous solenoid wasn't working right. And so he ran it on motor all weekend. The thing was consistent. It motors. It looks cool. I mean, that was good. Matt Ensing's new car is absolutely killer. And I tell you what, that thing is a 350 rocket. I saw that thing make, I think I counted up. I think I saw it make 5 passes. I think the slowest pass it made was a 352. And the quickest pass it made was like 350 with a 1. I mean, that thing just print slips something fierce. Supercharged little LS. I think he said they're regulated like 12 pounds of boost because every time they try to make more boost than that, it's tried to start shredding the belt on the backside of the supercharger. So, yeah, very interesting ride. And he told me he is not happy with running 350. He wants to run that thing in like 325, maybe even run as a 295 car. So that
Probably going to be
car,
looking to go from a serpentine to a cog belt drive then.
It sounds like there's going to be a lot of turbo conversions. There's a few cars that have those superchargers. They want to go to turbo.
yeah, yep. And that was the other thing. Very strange to me this weekend to see Danimal Nineheis and Josh Goodell both driving LS powered buggies. Very strange, very just.
They were in them last weekend as well.
Yeah, just really weird seeing those guys not running bikes and in a good way. But yeah, good to see those guys at the track as well. So overall, I'd say it was a really good weekend. I agree with the guys. Turnout seemed a little light, but to be honest, with the heat, I'm not sure what you could have
Price.
done to make it better. You know, as far as draw more people, I just don't know if it was possible at that point in time. So we had a good crowd Friday night, though. I would say the Friday night crowd was actually better than Saturday.
Yeah, good crowd.
Yeah, very much so. So, all right. So that's going to wrap up our wrap up of the Silverback Offroad Speedway Weekend of Thunder.
We'll get back to the episode for some news in just a second, but first, want to give a shout out to us and Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series, the Bluegrass Shootout at Shelton's Dirt Drags coming up October 31st and November 1st at Shelton's Dirt Drags in Stanford, Kentucky. That's 2 days of racing. It's a rescheduled day from May. So we got Friday classes, 50-50 cars, 50-50 ATV, quick 16 cars, quick 16 ATV, 4x4 ATV Pro Mod, side-by-side Pro Mod, and the 295 challenge happening as well. Then we have the kids bracket to kick things off on Saturday. And then we have Sportsman Cars, Sport ATV, Pro Comp, Pro ATV, the 395 index for just cars, 350 index for just cars. We have a side-by-side outlaw class, 4x4 ATV outlaw, and the 295 index once again running on Saturday as well. $15 a day at the gate. Ages 10 and younger are free, and it's going to be a great action-packed weekend of racing. Over $14,000 of added cash and prizes to that race. Want to give a shout out to HPT Turbos Chargers, HPL Superior Lubricants, Mr. RPM Cycle, Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series, and with us, World Sand Drag News, getting that race put on. That's October 31st and November 1st at Shelton's Dirt Drags in Stanford, Kentucky. If you're not going to be there, you're a loser. Just plain and simple. All right, now here's some breaking news.
All right, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. More stuff on the Paddle Talk podcast. We're moving on to news and views. Great segment we've got going here. And we're going to bring in Billy Teeters right off the bat as he is chomping at the bit with his news, even though I have some breaking news that I think is going to be good as well. But you know what?
If you got breaking news, then break it.
No, you hit it, buddy.
All right,
you
fine.
hit it.
All right, cool, because mine is more important anyway.
Oh God.
We'll see about that.
This is more important because when you start doing any passion, the first person that supports you in that passion is your mother. And today is my mama's birthday, and I want to give a shout out to my mom, Sherry Teeters, because when me and Cody first started World Sand Drag News, we didn't have the most reliable vehicle to get us around to these races, and Mom always gave us her little 2013 Kia Rio that Damien almost put us in a damn ditch with on the way to his house from Virginia.
That was a long weekend too.
I got to give a big shout out to my mom. She was there at Gravel Rama 50 through that heat and just always feeding us sandwiches and keeping us hydrated and all that stuff. And she supported me and Cody through this WSDN thing when we were still Worthless Sand Drag News, and when we turned World Sand Drag News, she was always a big supporter in everything we've done. So I just want to give a big shout out to my mom, Sherry Teeters. I love you, Mom, and happy birthday. That is more important.
Well done, buddy. Yes, it is.
Fine,
yes.
You win.
Thank you.
Yeah, you win.
Okay, and then my second thing is I got 3 of them. That was 1. And 2, Thunder Valley Sand Drags. I've been talking to my boy Kevin Cabrick, which I'll have to get Kevin Cabrick on the show sometime because he's a big part in the positive changes that are happening at Thunder Valley because he's just persistent. And he texted me earlier today saying that Thunder Valley is getting quotes on a way to get the track more leveled out because right now it is a little shaky in some areas, but we're getting quotes and to getting it completely leveled, laser level. And so he met with 2 different companies today at the track to get quotes. And his words were, I am getting quotes and the decision is in the owner's hands. So we are on the up and up and getting that track leveled. So that's going to be great because it has been something that has been talked about for a long time. It's usually been pretty well, but you can always make things safer, especially when it comes to dirt, when you play in dirt for a long time, especially almost, well, shit, I think we are at 35 years at Thunder Valley so far. So, yeah, when you race on that same surface for so long, you got to maintain it somehow, and that's their way of doing it. So Thunder Valley Sand Drags getting quotes to make the track a little safer for everybody. So, and that may or may not be influenced by the big race in September. So, and then my final thing, which before we start recording, I said this is going to be a big thing, or at least I hope it is, because our friends at Albany, Oregon, still don't have a goddamn place to go racing at. And as my friend Eric Wells said, and K-Dub knows Eric, the ATV racer Eric Wells, he's very, very well known. His girlfriend lines him up and all that stuff. And they got thousands of dollars in race cars and race bikes just sitting there doing nothing. And they're just, waiting to see if Albany's Sand Drags is even going to open for next year. And then I come across this post just the other day, and it's some Albany Sand Drag racers. They're upset, they're pissed off because it looks like that the Albany Motocross Park is still open, and now they have made their sand drag track part of their course for the motocross part.
This is true.
So now it's getting to the point where what's going on here? So, and I'm looking at a picture right now. You can clearly see the shutdown area of this drag strip being used in the whatever part of this motocross track. And it's just I'll say it's bullshit how they're gonna tell these sand drag guys, these racers, that like, hey, we ain't got the time for you, but we got the time for these guys over here because of whatever reason. It's just bullshit. So I don't know. Goddamn mutiny needs to happen or something, because, well, maybe not mutiny, because they need to go back racing. There's what needs to happen. I don't know how to make it happen, but it's bullshit that these motocross guys get to use their track and the racers who actually race on that track don't get to use it at all. It's bullshit. And that was my bit.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Johnny, Damien, K-Dub, anything to follow that up with? Damien does.
Well, just a little bit of news that I just got as of recording this about a half hour ago from Jason Benson. He has broken both ends of A Sport Mod and A Sport Mod four-wheel drive record, taking it down from a 309 of Todd Bilesma's last spring at the Silverback Offroad Speedway to a 3.06. I can't remember the full number. I think 3.065.
Yes.
As well as taking his own mile per hour record from 106, I can't remember the exact number again, to 108.83. He did go faster at 112, but 108 ain't within 1% of 112.
That is correct.
So coming out of the PTN Elite Weekend, Sport Mod records dropping again.
Yeah. No, and I mean, lost on a hole shot to Jason Vanderwall in the first round of PTE Friday night. So, but then was generous enough to stop up in the tower and talk about it a little bit too. So,
right.
So yeah, another group of guys that put in some serious work last weekend. So, and Michael McCord, friend of the show, also wanted me to make it very clear he is not doing any of the tuning on the Kryptonite Jeep anymore. That is 100% Jason Benson pulling the trigger, so to speak, and putting the tune-up in that hot rod. So very interesting, and should leave Mr. McCord some more time once his own square body is out to get the tune-up on that thing. So looking forward to that.
Definitely.
Johnny or K-Dub, any news you would feel free to share?
I don't really have any news, to be honest with you. I just have more of
You got any shout outs? You got any news shout outs?
Yeah, well, I guess my news would be August 1st and 2nd Legends race. Everybody get ready, get set. It's $6,000 in cash and prizes. Like I said, there's classes for top eliminator down to bikes, cars, dragsters, you name it. There's a place for you. Come play with us. Come honor our legends, and let's make this a huge success.
Very good. Love it.
That's a good news bit.
So following up then, if K-Dub doesn't have anything, but following up, and this is actually something I was surprised that, because it's really more in Johnny's wheelhouse. So I was leaving the track Saturday night, and I saw two guys standing there. I looked at the one guy, and I looked at him a little closer. And somebody else said to me, "You know how that is, don't you?" And I said, "I think I do." And I said his name, and his girlfriend was standing there. She's like, "How do you know that?" I'm like, "No, it's not my first rodeo." And introduced myself. We talked for a little bit. And the other gentleman was there, also introduced myself. We chatted back and forth. And I said, "Man," I said, "what do you think? Things have changed, haven't they?" And as the one gentleman said, "You know what? Still looks like the same sand drag racing to me." He goes, "And kind of getting an itch that maybe that I'm getting back this way a little bit. I need to start doing something again." He goes, I says, "Really?" And he says, "Yes." He says, "In fact," he says, "I never got rid of any of my stuff." He says, "It's just been sitting now for 20 years. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. What? Yeah. So both these guys indicated they're real interested in coming back and running maybe some 295. And I'm like, that would be awesome. And
You're not
yeah,
gonna peg
so,
the name, are you?
you know what? I don't think it's necessary.
Just say
I
the
think it's
goddamn name.
necessary. I think it's necessary because he was standing at the back of my trailer with another tuning legend, John Brown, and I walk out of the back of my trailer as I'm loading up, and there stands Jeff Pendergraft.
It was Jeff Pendergraft.
And I'm like, "You have got to be shitting me, Jeff. I ain't seen you in 20 some years." And he's like, "Yeah." He says, "I've been traveling for work and stuff and looking to move back to the Midwest." And I'm like, "Man, that'd be cool. Way cool." Good.
So
So
give,
Great.
give
Again.
the listeners who don't know Jeff some context here.
So
Well-
Jeff Pendergraft, I would believe, is one of the first Volkswagen guys to dip into what, Johnny? Probably the 80s, the 70s.
He was one of the, well, he got into he was the first, I don't quote me, he was the first or second into the 70s. It was between him and
270s, just so people
Yes,
know 270s.
270s.
In the 270 range, it was between him and the Animal.
DL King.
DL King.
Yeah. And I mean,
At the
and
time.
remember, 270s at a time where if you could run 3.0 and 2.9, you could win top fuel most weekends at Silver Lake.
Yeah,
Sure,
and they
for
were
sure.
they were like not running much for computer stuff. Most of that stuff back in that time was still not computerized, and I mean, them guys were putting the hammer down with all the good, without all the good stuff we have today.
Yep. So, and then John Brown said that he has all the parts, and
Yes, he
he's thinking instead of a big blower 4-cylinder,
Turbo.
a large millimeter turbo on that car. But he also has all the parts to go back together and thinks that maybe that'd be enjoyable to run a couple times a year. So that, in my mind, that would be fantastic. Those two cars are flat out legends in our sport. I think John Brown and George Young still hold the record where Thunder Valley, maybe? No.
But they did
No.
they did come to Thunder Valley one time and break our record. Mark Irons has a dope YouTube video of that whole weekend of when George Young and John Brown came down and set the Thunder Valley record. First, that car was the first car at Thunder Valley to run the 2.7s. Because he said the track record of 279 that weekend.
And still cool. Probably the only 4-cylinder to run into the 2.7s.
At our track?
Yeah.
Terry Glasscock actually just did it a few years ago. At 279 also, actually. So that's funny that you say that.
Yeah. So that was very unexpected.
Adam Rowe as well. He ran like 260s down there. So
okay.
Right.
But so just really cool seeing those guys. And like I said, I hadn't seen Jeff in solidly 20 years. I'll be honest, I had never met John before, just knew him, and he asked me something. I says, no, honestly, just big fan of your work,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
But those two guys very instrumental, and I would say in one of the heydays of the Silver Lake Sand Drag Strip, had some cars that were absolutely phenomenal and flying at that point in time.
I have a VHS tape somewhere in my garage from when my grandpa Jack Monroe, rest in peace, went to Silver Lake in like 1999, 98, something like that. And the top fuel class in that video was just full of legends. It's an awesome video. I gotta get that thing put on DVD and show it to you guys. But
You
if
put it on YouTube.
if Jeff Pendergrass is in that video, I need you guys to tell me because I don't know.
Yes,
I'll say that. But
I'll find it, because how this all really got started actually was crazy. Somebody shared a picture of Jeff's car just this past week on Instagram, and I had seen it. So it was already in my head. To be honest, had it not already been in my head, I wouldn't even given Jeff a second thought when I first saw him, until Sean Roth actually nudged me and asked me if I knew who it was. And as soon as he asked me that, I knew exactly who it was, without going too far. Yeah, exactly. That was about it too. So, but yeah, I just thought that was really cool. And
that's fucking dope.
Yeah, it'd be pretty sweet to see some really fast Volkswagens again. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, because there's only fast Volkswagens now. I mean,
Landcour, Rowe, that really are out on this area.
Yeah.
Embry's trying.
Embry's trying.
Embry will. Okay, the Charlie buggy is forever goated. We all know that it is though. So rest in peace, Charlie. But yeah, that buggy is forever goated. It's an awesome car. But no, yeah, Jeff Pendergrass showing up. That's dope. That's awesome.
Very much so. So that's all the news I have. So I think that can pretty much wrap this segment then.
Hey, we're about to wrap up the show with some race previews, but before we do that, I want to give a shout out to Silverback Offroad Rentals. Experience Silver Lake's ultimate off-road adventure at Silverback Offroad Rentals. They put you behind the wheel of premium rental vehicles ready to conquer Michigan's legendary sand dunes, located directly across from 450 acres of pure adrenaline. There are more than rentals. They're your off-road headquarters. So visit them April through October and leave with stories worth telling. That's Silverback Off-Road Rentals. You can find them online. Find their Facebook, Silverback Off-Road Rentals. And now, here is race previews to wrap up the show.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Paddle Talk podcast. We're moving on to some race previews now. We've got Tri-County Rodeo. We've got the Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series, also known as Speeders, and their Michigan event, which has turned into their season opener up at Silverback Offroad Speedway as well. We have, what else are we talking about?
We got Atoka.
We've got Atoka. We've got MRA preview.
MRA, yeah.
MRA, and even KOI race close to my house. Woo-hoo!
Oh, God. By the time people watch this, you already been done race. So hopefully,
no, it's coming up to July 26th. July
your place.
26th.
Your place, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about when you're going to on Wednesday, which is Wednesday the 9th, which you probably already raced at by now when people watch this. So
stay tuned for some WSDN TV, people.
Yes. We love the KOI stuff from my
Yes.
But I'm going to Atoka this weekend for
let's talk about Atoka this weekend then.
Yeah, double points race. I'm going to see if I can throw my bike in there and stir some things up in Pro 2 and Pro 3 points here. And
now, when you say bike, are you talking nitrous mini bike or are you talking snowmobile quad?
Oh, we're taking both, bro.
Oh, double header.
We're taking both. I'm going to run Pro 3 on the mini bike, and then I'm going to run Pro 2 on the snowmobile bike. And I may end up running I don't know, because the way Atoka does their program, they do trophy class and money class of everything. So they go through and they run all the classes for trophy, and then they go back through all the classes and they do them for money after that. So Pro 1 cars, Pro 2 cars, Pro 1 cars is 450 and faster on Pro Light. Pro 2 cars is 451 and slower on a Sportsman Light. Hello, baby. And then Pro 1 quads is 499 and faster on a Pro 3. Pro 2 quads is hold on. Get out. Pro 2 quads is a 5.0 to 5.99 on a sport light, and then Pro 3 quads is 6.0 and slower. So I'm either going to sandbag the shit out of Pro 3 on my snowmo quad, or I'm going to run it fair with the mini bike. So that's my plan for Pro 3. And then I'm also going to go down there, get some awesome content. It's on WSDN TV. I will be racing at this, so maybe not as much live as y'all we're used to, but the one thing to really take away from this race is going to be the Pro 1 cars and how competitive it is. They usually average around 24, 28, 30 cars in the field, and it's going to be very, very competitive. I can't wait to watch it, and yeah, it's going to be a great time. And then I know Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series races next weekend, but we'll wait till Dave gets here to talk about that. But I know the MRA is running next weekend. They're going to Wagler Motorsports Park. Is that what it's called, Damien?
Yes.
In Indiana?
Wagler Motorsports Park, known majorly for their billet Duramax diesel truck engines that they put together for tractor pulling, some dragsters, drag trucks, all sorts of neat stuff they put together.
So this is going to be sorry, this is going to be on where they have the tractor pulls. It's going to be on the same track. Okay.
So it's going to be a nice tacky clay track once they get it all tore apart.
They're going to be fast, is what it sounds like.
Oh, they ought to be. It's looking like it's going to be a hell of a show. That I'm going to make it, obviously, with the fair race next weekend, unless something happens. But it's going to be a good show. Obviously, there's super stock, pro stock, outlaw pro stock, one of my favorite classes. Modified cuts and paddles and open cuts and paddles. So anything from stock body vehicles to open rails that are almost comparable or they're about as comparable to a top alcohol dragster as you can get with a 150-inch wheelbase.
Very much so. Eric Bidlack bringing his new car?
I do not know, but it's not Eric Bidlack built car. I cannot remember the guy's name now when I want to remember it. But
is it Sean Barber?
No, Sean Barber's working on a truck.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that's what I thought.
This is a boy from the Northeast that I believe owns this rail that Eric just posted over the last couple of weeks.
But that thing looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks very similar in build to Kevin Harrison's, another Bidlack built chassis, except instead of your standard straight axle front suspension, it has independent front suspension.
Yes. You said the fair race is the same weekend as this race? They're the same.
Ain't they both the 18th and 19th?
That's what it says, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. If I found sponsor money, will you go?
Don't know yet. We'll see what we do with the Jeep this coming weekend on figuring out putting stuff back together and if anything's hurt.
All right, fair enough. Go ahead. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
No problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a hell of a race. Again, super stock, their only heads up class. That's my personal only drawback when I look at MRA is it looks like a bunch of open qualifying. Whoever's fastest qualifier gets the win.
That's fair.
It's a different style of racing. I mean, when you get there in person, like I've been to two of their events and seen it in person. It's a whole different animal. It has its own different excitement to it as well. So
totally. I've been to the Jamboree many times at NMRO, which was a precursor to the MRA because Gary Baker founded both series, if I remember correctly. Gary Baker founding the NMRO in the very early 90s and it going through and eventually being bought by Family Events, Special Events, which is now, I can't remember what they've changed their name to at this point, but the Jamborees no longer have that mud racing. But all these cars that would run are car teams that formerly would run with the NMRO. Like even the Georges with the smoking gun and all their trucks, they own the farmland and owned the track in down in Georgia that they used to run in the early 90s.
Yeah. What would be interesting is to see how many of the MRA guys possibly come back to run the Texas Mud Drag event at Booker Farms, our friends over at the Upper Merrimack Dirt Drags, and vice versa if any of the Texas Mud Drag guys make the trip to run the MRA race when it happens there, because they're
Right.
both series are going there later this year again.
Oh, totally. And it's, again, looking like it's going to be a wild one for them. Speaking of, with the Texas Mud Drags, I should have mentioned this in the news earlier. If you want to,
Go ahead. What do you got?
Hit it.
they have added a small block NA class for their race in West Virginia.
Ooh.
They've already got $500 added money, 2,700 minimum, 2,700-pound minimum weight, naturally aspirated small blocks, doors. That's basically the rules.
All right. Well, I like it. Well, shout out to those guys getting that done. Are you going?
Unfortunately, that's the same weekend as the rodeo.
Oh,
I've already made a
gotcha.
commitment to make it to the rodeo. Unless they cancel the rodeo, I will not be at the West Virginia race. I've heard a few people in this area talking about going to run that class specifically if a little bit more money gets added in.
Wait a minute. What rodeo?
Tri-County, Lisbon.
Oh, Tri-County Rodeo, which we're going to talk about right now. Tri-County Four-Wheeler 60th Celebration Rodeo.
That's
Um,
crazy, man. I mean, it's really cool, but 60th,
Oh, yeah.
that's
Dude.
awesome.
I mean,
How many racetracks in the country stay open for 60 years, let alone 40, let alone 10?
the next closest dirt track is Gravel-Rama. The
How old
next
are-
closest sand drag track
Oh, yeah,
is
well, 50,
Gravel-Rama.
yeah, for 50, whatever. Yeah, for sure. That's awesome.
Hell, next year is going to be IOK four-wheelers, not Gravel-Ramas, but IOK's 60th anniversary.
Well, they
Wow.
got these guys do a good job when they have races. They do a good job of posting those pictures online, which we talked about it before. July 25th, 26th, 27th. You're going to be there all 3 days, right, Damien?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're going to see the sand drags on Friday. They're going to do sand drags on Saturday. Kids classes start at 9 a.m. And remember, this is the place where like they have the $2 entry fee for the kids. So
Yes.
and then that's just for like the little kids and the Power Wheels. Just above that is $5 for those kids. So very, very cheap for you kids to go racing at this track. Your adult classes start right after kids classes. It looks like they're saying approximately 11 a.m. on Saturday, July 26th. And then July 27th, Sunday, they got the big hill climb starting at 10 a.m. And then an obstacle course starting right after the hill climb. Damien, what are you looking forward to, bro?
I'm looking forward to seeing all of it. So many different cars I don't get to see all year because you're going to see a lot of the people that run Challenge in the Hills. You're going to see a lot of people that run Jersey Shore, Pennsylvania come out to this race. Yeah, there's going to be some that are robbed by the West Virginia Texas Mud Drags race, but those are guys that are local to that area that are gonna miss this race. So that's not as big a loss. It's unfortunate, but it happens when you got two such different races.
Sure.
I'm looking forward to the hill climb. I've heard some crazy things about that hill. It's super steep. It's got a stair step in the middle of it. Back for the East Coast four-wheel drive, I want to say 30th or 35th anniversary. Justin Dees and his old Iron Maiden dragster missed out on the record by a couple of hundreds apparently, which that had to be a painful ride in a hardtail car. But it's such an old school event. Friday night they're going to do their standard bracket racing program, so maybe one or two classes, I'm not sure. Saturday they're going to do their index program where they have set indexes at a certain point. The winner of each of those classes will go for the top eliminator at the end of the night, which is just you're dialed to whatever your class's index is. That's what you got to deal with.
Yeah, well, hey, I like it. I'm cool with it. What any classes for the hill climb? Is it Gravel-Rama-esque or not even
I
close?
do not believe so anymore. It used to be years and years ago, like when the East Coast went there. Just like Tri-County, they got rid of East Coast, just like Cleves, they got rid of East Coast. I believe they do more based on modifications to the vehicles, tires, and style of vehicles. So like ATVs, side-by-sides, modified street cars, performance, unlimited, etc. I would have to find that. I'll try and get it before next week, or we can try and see about getting someone from Tri-County on for next week to get a little more information for everybody.
All right. Where is John? John, where are you? He's the whole reason Damien's going to this race, and he's not even here to talk about it. So whatever. We'll move on. Isaac.
Yeah. So July 26th, KOI is actually having a race in my hometown of Holland, Michigan, with all the regular KOI classes, and really looking forward to it. I mean, it's not, I think we all can talk about it here, but for me, getting a race, within a half hour of my house is a huge deal. And, for me, been waiting a long time to do it. Really excited to be able to do it. Hopefully, we'll probably have both bikes and the Ranger, for the weekend. So looking forward to it. Should be a great Saturday night. It's the end of our county fair at that point in time as well. So, which is always usually a big crowd night, and really the venue is really good. I don't know how the race is going to be. I'm just saying the venue is really good. It's close to the beach. Well worth the trip over for a day if you're looking for something to do. So,
Maybe you'll see
all right,
some
John's
of the
back.
Michigan
I'm
bug
back.
boggers hit that area.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, John, read what I just gave you.
All right.
Okay. It's the speeders. It's the Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series race information going on at Silverback Offroad Speedway. I'm not getting any. Honestly, I didn't try very hard either. I called Dave once and he didn't answer, and we're pushing it past our limit here, so we're just gonna go ahead and roll onto it, and we'll get Dave on very, 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 very soon to talk about his race because I know he's super pumped for it. He spends a bunch of time getting all these sponsors and everything lined up for it, and John's actually going to be on site for it, so I hope that it's going to be a great time. So, John, you got the flyer there. Whenever you're ready, just
I have the
go ahead.
flyer.
Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
2 weeks, guys, 15,000 cash prizes. Silverback Offroad Speedway, July 18th to the 20th, presented by HPT Turbochargers, HPL Superior Lubricants, and Mr. RPM Cycle. We have a total of 15,000 in cash and prizes to hand out. Stock to absolutely wild 295 dragsters. You don't want to miss it. Side by sides, 4x4s, Jeeps, trucks, Alders, dragsters, and more. Kids' classes will be done by Silverback in the morning, I'm assuming. And also, thanks to all of our sponsors, HPT Turbochargers, HPL Super Lubricants, Mr. RPM Cycle, Top Shelf Performance, The Bomb Racing, Jeff Ross, Reaper Suspension LLC, Murray Powersports, Angel Performance LLC, Mott Motorsports, Powersports Shop, Steve Morris Engines, TJ Mack and Crew, 252 Off-Road, World Sand Drag News. This is thanks to all of our tracks and Shelton's Dirt Drag, Silverback Offroad Speedway, Newtown Dragway, Tri-County Four-Wheelers, Gravelrama, Lumber River Sand Drags. Also, a special thanks to Kyle Ashton Elliott for the flyer design, Zach Applegate for the website design, and Speeders Events. Thanks to Caleb Mings for all the VIP pass design. And most importantly, thanks to all the racers.
Yep. And that's what Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series posted when they posted the flyers for this event happening July 18th through the 20th. They add the Sunday thing in there. So it's just like a camping thing, right, John? So people are allowed to camp on Saturday, basically.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's cool. And then so Friday, they have Super Pro, 4.0 Index, Trail side-by-side, Trail 4x4 ATV, and they're going to do a couple qualifying rounds for 295, Outlaw side-by-side, and Outlaw 4x4 ATV. And Friday, after they do Test and Tune, which I assume starts at noon-ish, and $1,300 cash and prizes added to the Super Pro 449 and faster bracket class. And winner gets a HPT turbocharger certificate valued at $1,200 and an HPL Superior Lubricant certificate for $100. The Pro class, same thing, gets the HPT turbocharger certificate and the HPL lubricants certificate. That's a $1,300 value, and that's the Pro class is 450 and slower bracket class, and 4.0 Index, which we all know what that is, $400 cash and prizes added, $30 entry, $25 back to the racers, and winner gets HPL Superior Lubricant Certificate for $100. Trail side by side, $10 entry. It's not bad at all. First and second place is trophy. There you go. It's a trophy class. See, John. Trophy classes are awesome. Yeah, you can run that with yours.
I'm gonna run it.
Yeah, there you go. And first and second place trophy, plus a free HPL Superior Lubricants oil change kit for the winner, valued at $200. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, oil change kit. That'd be cool.
I can't wait to get my oil change kit.
Yeah.
And here we go.
That's pretty bold claim right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm lighting a fire under people. Let's do this.
I'm not gonna seriously though, hey, this could be the best paying race all summer at Silverback Offroad Race Speedway. I mean, seriously. There is a lot of money up for grabs.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. And then trail 4x4 ATV, $10 entry, first and second place trophy winner gets an HPL Superior Lubricant Certificate for $100 and $50 in that class for the quickest ET, presented by 252 Off-Road.
Wow.
And then Friday night, like I said, 2 rounds of qualifying for the 295, which is also known as Top Eliminator, and the Outlaw side-by-side, Outlaw 4x4 ATV, which the Outlaw side-by-side class is so freaking awesome. These things are so fast. I'm talking about side-by-sides that run like 320s, and there was one who, well, shit, I don't even remember how fast it went. It was like 3.0s. Is that the record? I don't even remember what the record is. It's fast as shit. 3.0s, 320s. It doesn't matter. It's side by side, and the threes in general is like, whoa. So, and then the Outlaw 4x4 ATV guys as well. Those are like, that's like Greg Price's Can-Am running 360s.
Yeah.
Is what that is. That's fast as fuck.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, okay, this is going to be, all right, strap in. This is going to take a little bit. Saturday, the 295 index, 350 index, open bracket, Outlaw side-by-side, Pro Mod side-by-side, Top Sportsman side-by-side, Sportsman side-by-side bracket, Outlaw 4x4 ATV, and Pro Mod 4x4 ATV, all running on Saturday, July 19th for the Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series race at Silverback Offroad Speedway. 295 index, also known as Top Eliminator, $150 entry fee, $2,300 cash and prizes, plus 100% payback, HPT turbocharged certificate valued at $1,200, plus HPL Superior Lubricants valued at $100, 350 index, $40 entry, $400 cash and prizes, plus $35 back per entry. Winner also gets a $100 certificate to HPL Superior Lubricants. Open bracket, entry and payout based on track. Winner gets an HPL Superior Lubricant certificate for $100. Outlaw side by side, $2,400 cash and prizes. This looks like it's going to be the highest added money and prizes class to that weekend. Outlaw side by side, $2,400 cash and prizes, $200 entry, $180 back to the racers. Winner gets an HPT turbocharger certificate valued at $1,200, plus HPL Superior Lubricants certificate for $100. Pro Mod side by side, $2,350 cash and prizes, and it's $100 entry, $90 back to the racers. And then they also get the HPT turbocharger certificate and the HPL Superior Lubricants certificate. Both of those $1,300 added value together, and then $100 to the quickest ET in that class by Angel Performance. And then we have Top Sportsman side by side, $400 cash and prizes, $60 entry, $50 back to the racers. Winner HPL Superior Lubricant certificate for $100, $100 for closest to the 4.0 index. What? $100 for closest to 4.0 Motorsports. Top Sportsman side by side must be a 4.0 and slower class if it says $100 for closest to 4.0. And Dave's rules for his classes are on his Facebook page, Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series, so you can go find those there as well. Sportsman side by side bracket, $30 entry, 100% payback. Winner gets an HPL Superior Lubricant certificate for $100 as well. Outlaw 4x4 ATV. This is where we talk about these big 4-wheel drive freaking big quads going heads up drag racing. And I lied about the Outlaw side-by-side class. This is actually the highest paying class of the weekend. Outlaw 4x4 ATV, $2,500 cash and prizes added, $200 entry, $180 back to the racers. Winner gets a HPT turbocharger certificate valued at $1,200 plus HPL Superior Lubricant certificate for $100. And then Pro Mod 4x4 ATV, $1,150 cash and prizes added, $100 entry, $90 back to the racers. Winner gets an HPL Superior Lubricant certificate for $100. All of that was a mouthful, and that basically sums up how much money, how much prizes you can earn at this race. And if you don't go to this race because you don't have a class to run in, you're an idiot. Because this guy literally has classes for everybody to run in. And literally, if this was not at Silverback, there would be a bunch of ATV classes I would have had to read also. So, yes, Dave has a place for you guys to race in the Southern Powersports Drag Racing Series race at Silverback Offroad Speedway, July 18th through the 20th. And John's going to be there running
Preach
a
it,
bunch of
brother.
classes.
Preach it.
I know. I feel like I've been talking for 15 minutes, but yeah, it's what's happening.
Yeah. It's down. It's going down.
Yeah, absolutely. This should be a fantastic race. Dave does a great job, and yeah, really looking forward to it. And if everything goes well, the 17th, which is Thursday night, Dave and I are meeting up in Indiana to do a little racing together at another KOI event.
Oh, that'd be cool. Wait, why aren't you going to this race?
I am priorly committed to another event happening that same weekend.
Oh, I remember. Shit, I remember. Okay.
So,
yeah. All right.
So yeah,
I want to
otherwise,
give it
100% I would be there. So,
Sure.
but looking
Damian-
forward to it. It's gonna be a heck of a 4-day stretch for Dave, I gotta say.
Hey, and he loves that shit. So
He
Dave
does
is all
very
for
much
it.
so. So
Dave-
shout out Dave Applegate too for putting in the work
Yeah.
to get this added money to make it. This. If you're a promoter out there or a race organizer, and you want to advertise big money or added money or whatever, this is the model you need to follow. And Dave is more than happy to share what he does to get, because he loves the sport, to get added money and that kind of thing into other people's races as well.
Dave does an absolute fantastic job and hardworking job of getting these
Absolutely.
sponsors to jump on board. And people don't look at these certificates and be like, oh, I just get a certificate. No, you go buy $100 worth of oil and tell me how much you get. This is you get a certificate, $100 off some oil, and then not to mention you could get you basically get a turbocharger.
Yeah.
$1,200 that you don't have to spend.
Yeah.
You win your class, get a turbo. John could go away for a turbo that weekend. Who knows? It'd be crazy.
Whoa.
Indeed.
Easy player.
Indeed.
So, all right. So I think that's going to wrap up our preview section of, Billy Teeters.
Just quick plug because Damian kind of wanted to do this. Franklin County's got their fair race July 18th and 19th. Damian, quick mention of that. Go.
Yes.
Is it truly a fair race if there's no wing dingers?
This isn't a KOI stuff. Damn it.
I've been waiting all night for that.
This isn't a KOI fair race. This is the Franklin County Four-Wheelers. The fair board pays them to put this race on. Usually it's one of the higher car counts of the year because every farm kid in the county will drag their beat to death old truck out, or farm truck or diesel, and they'll want to come race their buddy.
Rodas. Sorry, what was that?
Hey, I hear that thing might be in the works for certain race in Michigan, but we'll see that when it happens.
Awesome.
But no, you see all sorts of farm kids, 4-H kids, high schoolers coming out trying to impress people, and it usually influxes car count. It also influxes the parking lot and makes it harder to find a spot to put all your stuff, but it's usually a good time. Sometimes they'll have something special going on Friday night. Like sometimes they'll do that 5-0 and slower bracket or something, or sometimes they'll have a quick 8 or a quick 8.
Have they announced anything they're going to do this year?
I do not know that yet.
I have a suggestion.
Go ahead.
I have a suggestion. Do something big with the kids. Let the kids race under the lights, dude. Kids love that shit.
Well,
I agree.
they usually save that for the end of the year. They have, if they do anything like that. I've been trying to pitch for years, and I pitched to Matt Willis when he's talking about possibly doing his own big money race. I think we need to have a night, adults on their pit vehicles versus little kids on. Let the kids run their dragsters. Let the kids run whatever they run all year. We run our golf carts, our quads, our side by sides against them.
Dude, I actually stole your idea and I pitched it to Jeff for a Friday night at the big race in September at Thunder Valley. So
Are you
Like-
doing adults versus kids? And
Yeah,
but the adults have to, and this is what I thought of. Adults have to race something 200cc or less.
Ooh,
That would be a
kids-
brilliant
I
idea.
And then the
let 'em
kids,
run
and then the
this-
kids also 200cc and less.
Well, let
I'd
them
let them
golf
run their
carts.
junior dragsters. Let the adults run a side by side at the biggest. No cars, no trucks.
No
So,
side by side. Shit, they can race side by sides in the regular
Yeah.
shit.
I'm
They
gonna say
race
no
side by
side by
sides
side.
around here.
Yeah. Huh?
But John put bounties on certain people, like in your area, Randy Kimbley, up in Michigan, John Sword, or etc. Down here, you know how it goes, because the kids are gonna all and make it to where it's only the kids that can claim them.
That'd be cool.
Fair enough. All right.
That would be
Back
cool.
to the fair.
Back to the fair.
It's still just gonna be normal bracket race, fast and slow class for both nights, probably. If I get any updates on that, I'll bring them out next week and let everybody know.
Tell them the kids need to run Friday night. The
Absolutely.
adults always have time.
The
If
only
they
bad
have the
thing,
biggest crowd that weekend, right? You gotta do it. You gotta have the kids have time in front of that big crowd. Got to.
as much as I would pitch that, the fair board just dictates on what they want to see a lot too.
Well, I'll call that fair board. Send me a phone number. I'll call.
Isaac can probably attest to this. Fair boards can be kind of greedy.
That's a word for it. Yes.
Well, I don't give a damn. Kids need their time, and I'll fight for it.
I understand that.
There you
But yeah, Franklin County, and I'm going to wrap things up here. Just a quick mention: Thunder Valley Sand Drags next points race, July 19th. Not this Saturday. Next Saturday, I'll be there racing. That's all I got. I'm ready to go.
All right. Let's do it. Let's get to the track.
All right, see you guys. Bye.